my name's Eva and welcome to this channel, and today we are chatting about some bisexuality things because Pride Month may be over, but the queer community is all year round. Y'all sent me some cues over on Instagram and Twitter and I'm gonna answer them. So the first question I'm gonna answer, somebody asked me specifically because I am attracted to men and women and non-binary folks and people of all genders, why I don't use the label pansexual and why I use the label bisexual. And for those of you who don't know what the definition of bisexuality and pansexuality are, just to catch everybody up. So bisexuality can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, which I talked about in my coming out video. A lot of people use it to describe attraction to more than one gender. And then pansexuality has also been described as kind of more attraction to people or personality regardless of gender or across all genders. That's for a couple reasons. The main one is the fact that that label just like makes me feel good and I feel like it suits me really well, and part of that reason is because some of the role models that I saw or that I still have who are out being bisexual ladies, I feel like I really identify with them, and when I see them out doing their thing being bi, I'm like, yeah, that's also like me. We're in the same club. And I also kind of like breaking people's stereotypes and negative ideas about bisexuality and being some representation for that, so lots of reasons why I like the label bi. For some reason I thought that this was just a thing that people understood, but I came out basically a week before I made the video coming out, so y'all have like been with me and like witnessed my coming out almost in real time. I did like tell people that I was questioning before I came out, but yeah, I like more officially came out, started living my bi as heck life basically around when I made my coming out video. Another question that I was asked was, did anybody give me a hard time when I came out? Yes, they did. I'm not gonna drag them here. Most people have been amazing. Yeah, I think a lot of, or some of the like negative reactions to me coming out has been kind of related to the stereotype that young bisexual women are just experimenting, the whole lesbian in college stereotype.
You know, one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't do enough experimenting in college. You're so weird.
That's why it's really important to have representation of young queer and bi women in the media so that people can see us not as like super sexualized or as experimenting, but also like in relationships and just like being ourselves and also just like happening to be bi, which is why I'm like obsessed and love Rosa and her coming out on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Do I think that it's harder to come out as bi than it is to come out as gay or lesbian? And as a singular person, I cannot really answer that question, and also everybody's experiences are different. But there is a really awesome paper that I recently read about bisexuality and coming out that highlighted some of the unique experiences and challenges that bisexual people face when coming out. And these included the fact that there's lots of different ways to be bi, so there's a lot of like internalized, like I'm not bi enough, and also leads to a lot of confusion in the general public. Also the general misunderstanding and stereotypes about bi people, which are really scary for when we're trying to come out. The next question is one that I think is pretty fun. So two people actually asked about at what point do I disclose my bisexuality to partners? And the answer is kind of funny because with dudes that I'm talking to, I kind of want to disclose to them right away because often the problematic thought or stereotype that straight dudes have about bisexuality is that we're super sexual and like it's not real. Sexuality is for you, which is not true obviously, but my whole career and life is very centered around sexuality, so if a dude like over-sexualizes my sexual orientation, I kind of want to filter that out and know that out right away, because when I start talking to him about sexting research, I need him to be normal about that. So if he can't even handle my sexual orientation, then I don't want to date him. In terms of disclosing to women and non-binary people, I'm actually a little bit more hesitant because like I don't list it on my like dating profile. I kind of am like hesitant to tell people right away because I have had some negative experiences with like monosexual queer people having like weird reactions to me coming out. So that is an interesting thing, and that's just where I'm at right now with that. If you don't know, the queer community also not always super great towards bisexual people. The last question is, do you ever still feel apprehension about your sexual identity and your sexual orientation? So fun fact, people have hypothesized this theory of identity development for gay and lesbian people and for bisexual people, like how you're coming out and your experience as a queer person, kind of what that journey might look like. For bisexual people, there's this like fun fifth component, which is just like indefinite uncertainty for the rest of your life. I'm not even kidding. That the fifth part is that just bisexuals will feel uncertain and question and feel like shame and guilt and like question whether they're bi enough for the rest of their life. And I definitely see where that's coming from, or at least like in my experience being bi. Please let me know in the comments if this is also your experience being bi. Unless you are polyamorous and you are dating multiple people of different genders, or you're single and you're flirting with multiple people of multiple genders, your identity will never match up with your behavior exactly. And in psych, there's a term called cognitive dissonance, which describes when your brain or your behavior doesn't match up with your thoughts. And that produces a lot of discomfort. So as a bi person, you are kind of often living in this state of discomfort all the time. And if you add on top of that all the negative stereotypes that the world has about bisexual people, and the amount of that you've internalized and you kind of believe but like know is not true, but you have to battle with yourself every day, there's a certain amount of not feeling queer enough and not feeling bi enough and uncertainty and garbage that you feel all the time. So that's the thing that I also deal with. Yeah, fun times! Internalized biphobia! I love it! It's so much fun! So thank you so much for watching this probably kind of long video about bisexuality, about my own experiences coming out and identity and all those things. If you want a part 2, if you have more questions that you want me to answer, leave them in the comments or send them to me on Instagram or Twitter. But that is all for me today. You can also support me on Patreon so that I can maybe get a mic and also keep making these videos. But that is all for me today, and have a lovely day. Bye! Get it? Like bisexual? I'm sorry, it just comes with the territory. We like puns.